A reporter asked me today if I thought that the Curt Schilling episode and him getting fired by ESPN was a victory for the LGBT community. I thought that was an interesting choice of words, victory. That you have somehow now vanquished the opponent, that you have won, and now you can kind of do a victory lap because the other person lost and you came out on top. I don't look at this that way. Disclaimer, I'm not transgender. When I see that image that Curt Schilling posted and his ensuing commentary, I certainly take offense. I'm angered by it, but I'm not pained by it the way that trans people, particularly trans women, were. Some of the trans women that I've spoken to, and hearing the pain that they felt. So I look at this from a different lens than they do. But I don't see him being fired by ESPN as a victory, because this whole thing has been a big loss for the LGBT community. What I saw on Twitter and Facebook, social media, the emails that I've gotten from people who are continuing to say horrible, horrible things about transgender people, the hatred that this entire episode has engendered against transgender people, it's painful. It's painful for me to watch not being transgender. I can only imagine you're talking to Jamie Neal, who is an occasional Outsports blogger. She's transgender. She's written for SB Nation in the past. And her being able to share her voice is very, very, very important. She understands the importance of visibility. But she has gotten attacked by so many people on Twitter directly. People including Curt Schilling himself, who lashed out at her for daring to take offense at this image. Those tweets that she has had to endure will linger in her mind for days and months to come. They eat at the core of who she is because of how our culture treats gender identity and trans people. Yes, it was the right thing to do for ESPN to move on past Curt Schilling. A lot of people think it was long overdue. For that company to continue to be connected to Schilling in his statements, it just would have been a big mistake for the company. So they did the right thing. But I don't see this as a big win for us. There could have been a disastrous loss if ESPN had not cut ties with Curt Schilling after he posted that picture and his ensuing rant blaming the victims for how they felt about his rant. That would have been a big loss. But I don't look at this whole thing as a victory for us. It's a reminder of how much more work we have to do, how many trans voices and trans faces we need to get out there in the media. People need to talk more with trans people. I was trying to convey that to Jason La Canfora and a couple other guys on CBS Sports Radio, that you can't understand how painful that image was unless you go talk to trans people. So if nothing else, I hope that trans people got some kind of reassurance from ESPN that they are standing with them. I hope that that's what they got out of it. I hope that they received some loving, caring messages from people who also reject those images. But this whole episode was a reminder of how far we still need to go. So no, I don't call this a victory for us. If in sports terms, at best it was a tie. But we still have a lot more work to do. And I know Jim Basinski and I at Outsports are committed to continuing to highlight trans voices at Outsports.